Good afternoon and welcome to Arranging for the Ukulele Part 2, playing melody lines with and over a chord progression and using chord inversions. I'm going to start with the tune Jamaican Farewell, made famous by Harry Belafonte, who unfortunately recently died, and I was reminded of that by reading obituaries about a great man and a wonderful singer. I'm going to start by playing the first 8 bars in the key of C, and I'll play it as it's written on the sheets you have and then dissect it. Okay, so we've got 2 parts in the music here. Well, 3, but let's think about the first 2 first. One is the melody, and this has the stems going up, and it starts with the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and I'll just play what I've got for this. Now, to accompany that, I've got a series of chords, and these are falling on the 1st beat and the 3rd beat of each bar. Except for the last bar where I'm following the melody line to give that typical Caribbean rhythm. Ba ba ba. Okay, so putting these together, in the first bar there's a slight problem if you're reading music well. You see that first chord, which is a C, E and G, the 3 notes of the triad of C, which is what I'm trying to do for that bar because it's a C chord. And immediately after that I'm playing the note G on the E string, which really I'd like if everything was natural, everything was simple on a piano, I'd play the C's and E and G lower down. But here we're playing on the ukulele where we've got sounds all around in the same area. So instead of playing this, I'm playing the G on the open string, which would work, but I don't like it quite as much as when I play that C, I'm using a bit of my fingernail with my middle finger. Okay, and to get over the fact that we're missing the E note, when we get to bar 4 we'll see how I compensate. Then in the F bar, that's a nice effect using this B note. Then for the G7, in the G7 bar, I'm playing the G like that rather than like that. It's just the hand is very comfortable in these sort of close groupings. Imagine it like the flying arrows or something. And in bar 4, I'm using my 1st finger to play that G, and then the harmony comes in with a C and E, like that. Then I'm going to carry on with that chord. Okay. So that's what happens in C. I've got my basic chords, C, F and G, or G7. It's made into a G7 by having this F note as the melody. Now I take these sort of music theory bits for granted because I've been teaching music for so long and thinking of the things, but they're not probably your main area of expertise, so be prepared to try and work out what notes are in the chords, either by looking at a chart or even better, getting my book, Discovering Fingerstyle Ukulele, where it all gets explained. But so that you know why it's a G7 and such like. Okay, then going on to the key of D. Now that was very bad, and partly it was because I rushed into it with thinking which version of D I'm going to use. I'm going to use that one, or that fingering, or this one, or this one. Now I think the bar chord one, with allowing for the finger to lift over the A string, is the best one, because it naturally goes to a 3-string bar A, 3/4 bar A for your G. And then what I do with that G is, when I'm going B, C sharp, D, when I get there and I want to harmonise it with the G chord, I don't have a B if I just do what I use on the first beat. But if I put this chord in, I add the B there. And that is so much easier to do. If I try to do it from that G shape, for a start, that's a difficult one. And then when I'm there, I've got to move everything to get to there. So that's why this D and this G are the best ones. A7, very straightforward, but when I do that one, I've got a G, C sharp, E and A. But when I go to this G note, I'm going to lose the E and the G, and I want a G there because of it makes it into the 7th. So I lose the G on the bottom string and play an A there instead. Okay, now on to one of my favourite keys to arrange in, which is F. Let's play the tune. Now, a couple of things about F. It's great because you've got this low C, which is the dominant in the key of F, and is often the lowest note of a tune in F. So it often works very well to get the tune in a very playable position. But it does introduce the B flat, and here my B flat wants this high D. And these are chords where you have to, so let's go from the beginning. I've played that, but then I want to reach there. Now if I was on a soprano, I might be able to stretch that finger out, but I can't on this one, which is a concert. So I let go of the chord, slide the little finger, slide again, then bring this shape, which is the same shape as I used in the G chord, but now it's up 3 frets, so it's B flat. Notice sometimes when you're playing an F, I'm using this effect, using my first finger, double stopping those, keeping hold of the F there, but adding the B flat melody in it. There are other ways of doing it. You can let go of the A and play the B flat like that if you can't do that. And there tends to be solutions to lots of the problems that you might think are insurmountable at first. For instance, in bar 5, roughly the same as bar 1, but then I've put this, the B flat I've played instead of this one, which might be a bit of a stretch for you, 3, 5, nothing, 5, and then from there I can move my little finger C7 in the last bar is a 303, which has got a B flat, a G and a C, so it gives enough of the chord, and then back to that F. Now in A, I've got a problem that a couple of the notes I want to play aren't ones that I've got on the ukulele because they are lower. If I did one on a low G, then I could, but that would present other problems that I don't want to go into here. But let's just do this tune. You heard right at the end there, I played C sharp, B, A to there. And really I'd like it to be an octave lower, but by harmonising we can get over the fact that it sounds slightly misplaced. So the chords, an A, D like we've had before, probably played with that because we want the 4, and E7 where we don't need the top B until right near the end, so we can just get away with 1 and 2 like that. And that's a really neat ending. A played like that with an open E in it as well. Keep the open E for the E7 chord, and then a final A. So I hope you've enjoyed this first section of Arranging for the Ukulele Part 2, looking at Jamaican Farewell. And as with all my arrangements, you can get hold of the full copy of the version which I eventually decided to arrange in, which in this case was the one in D, from me at colinrtribe at btinternet.com. I'll be with you for the second part of this when you click the right button.